Hey everybody, we're gonna play being Merlin. We buy the Sure Shot. Flipping the Frog Prince. Next turn we'll get the Full Glory and the Frog Prince. We got lucky. Well, I guess we win the first round. We would have tied. Give them a little damage. We don't take any. And here, well, let's buy the spell first, boosting our range character. It's a Trophy Hunter, who's usually not too much of a problem in the early game. If we're fortunate, we can, win the fight and get a character for 1 gold, basically, as well as the buff. We wanted to cast a spell with Merlin anyways, and we were able to buy 5/5. We got a nice shop on turn 1, so we were able to go right into this strong early game play, and we'll try to transition this into a good level 3. Ooh. Looks like we had a similar setup, but we had a stronger supporting cast for our archer. Look at our Full Glory. So, I mean, the one character we really don't want is the tiny. We want to cast a spell, obviously. We don't want to grab the tiny. I don't know if it's worth it to buy the chicken, because we also don't really want the eeny meeny to hit the chicken. I think we're going to be fine with it. We did get fortunate there. I think it's worth just buying the chicken now, with the idea being that we'll probably sell the chicken, hopefully before we get another spell, aiming to just buy a princess to flip over our prince. We're against a Loki, who is very strong early game. Oh, I think this is a... Wow, they have the full complement here. We'd love a hit there. Yeah, that was nice. That was less nice. Oh, and we barely lose here. Wow, so they have an extremely strong board early, and we almost took them down. Yeah, this is tough, right? Obviously, we have an adventure available. We want to flip the prince, so I think it's worth it to buy basically anything to do so. We could just go something like Adventurer Polywoggle, cast the Candy Rain, they become at least 2/2s. This flips. Unfortunately, we didn't pause for that Mim last time, and we could have. I'm going to grab these two. I think this is probably as good as it gets here. Ooh, we managed to buff the chicken, which isn't great, but I don't know that we had a better option. Leave these in back. Hopefully our front line will soften them up, and then we can get some slays. It's going to be luck based though, right? It's not something that we can count on. We're actually not even going to get our backline to attack, it looks like, right? Yeah, wow. Huh, this person's not doing great so far. Okay, I think he is generally correct to buy the princess. We could get the adventurer, make it into a 4-drop. Could also just buy a donkey and make that into a 4-drop. A couple options. I had to sell a chicken. Or we could just roll. Anything else? We want to cast a spell at some point. I think we could just roll. Spellweaver seems pretty good. And then I would love to cast this. Do we have? Oh, we have. This is our only target, isn't it? Okay, let's sell. Cast this here. Ooh, and it gets the hit. Very nice. And I don't think we can grab this polywog. We're just gonna roll. Is there anything special? No, not really. So we'll just take another roll next turn. Maybe we'll put these two up front, something along these lines. The tree isn't doing much here. It's just sort of sitting around. We're just trying to soften things up for our Polywog on Adventurer to get some slays. We're still pretty high health. Try and get some buffs early, so could be fairly strong. We've gotten buffs almost every turn, I think, but they've gotten a similar number of buffs. This is going to be a strong one. Yeah, is that a 15? Wow. Okay, so I think we do get the Slay, though. Yep, we get a Slay, so we'll hit level 4. We get a second Slay. We're going to lose the fight because this attacks us before we can finish this off. Okay, take a little damage, but we got both our Slays. Can't be too unhappy. Ooh. That actually makes our next Slay a little bit easier. Something along these lines. And do we want to sell? We could sell a tree and get a Lady of the Lake, and we could just go all mages. That would actually put us in a really interesting situation if we can find an Aeon soon. We could just buff the Adventurer, getting a trigger. We haven't cast a spell this turn. Do you want to do this? Why is this bigger? Anyone know? We'll figure it out. I mean, we need a Lady of the Lake. Yeah, maybe it is just better to cast the spell here. We probably should be selling the tree soon, so it doesn't just eat buffs. And yeah, we don't need any of these, so we'll just let it roll. We have some strong range characters up front. We have some weaker range characters up in back. We have one strong range character up front, I guess. Maybe it's best to protect that one. I'm not really sure. We're just trying to get the Slay, mostly. Oh no, there's a 1 in 3. Okay, there we go. Perfect, perfect. Looks like we're going to beat this person. By a huge margin. But we have gotten I think 2 XP so far. That's a pretty good one. We haven't even had to pay for any. We don't have any monsters. I think it might be worth grabbing a treasure here. Well, if we had some trees, that'd be interesting. Yeah, let's grab a quick treasure. I think getting the first attack is nice with our little Slay character. Ooh, we can make something that's good into an evil character. Just for free. The main point is just get a spell cast and get a spell cast, obviously. Nice hit on that one. I don't think we want the second Minotaur. We're mostly going to buy 5 drops here. Yeah, nothing super exciting, so we'll just go into... We could grab a Court Wizard. Court Wizard is a mage. Court Wizard also goes really well with our Royals, but we don't have the Royal buff character. I imagine the Lion might have all of them, and I don't think it makes sense for us to go towards that without having some authors. I think we also saw Grandmother had a couple authors too, so we don't want to go into a comp that's going to be extremely heavily contested, especially going into it later. So, and we will want to. Oh, this is actually pretty big. This is actually bigger than our fog. I didn't realize because it started off as a happy tree, so it has a lot of toughness. Go ahead and check that. Okay, so we got another XP. I think we win this fight pretty easily. We have bigger characters, we have some range characters. We might knock them out of the game here. Yeah, we do. We have this upgraded character in the back that gives us the extra damage boost, so. One person down. Cupid's good, but I don't think it's what we're looking for here. Nutcracker Punch is interesting, but we have a lot of attack boost, we don't have a lot of health boost. This makes into a 5-drop treasure. And I honestly think we just want to cast any spell, get this trigger. If we get a Slay, we get a buff. None of these are great. Maybe we grab this and just take a small buff. We could try to take the 1 gold, on the next turn, or we just take, the possibility of getting a couple buffs. It's pretty unexciting. We can just skip. I just don't like any of those. I think what I'm gonna do is sell a princess. Just grab a chicken. We're gonna hit. We're not definitely gonna hit 6, but we could hit 6. And given that we could hit 6, it makes sense to try to save up some gold. And even if we don't necessarily hit 6 this turn, we'll hit 6 the next turn. We're gonna hit 6 eventually, hopefully. Okay. Ooh, that was a tough hit for us. Yeah, I think that loses it for us. Because they attack each other. I guess this only does 1 damage, so we do take out all but 1, but yeah, we're still going to take 6. That's tough. Cupid's just really strong. We do get to level 6, though, which is what we were hoping for. Wow, are we not supposed to take 2 mummies, though? I very much want to. But I think maybe we're just supposed to look for 6 drops. We do get the first attack. We could go mummy, mummy, buff a monster. Sell this thing. Do we want to do that? And we did see how effective. Yeah. And that's probably worth it. Sell something. I guess I have to put this in the back. And we will sell this monster to buff this one. Yeah, this will be the first to attack. Actually, we should probably make the one that's going to attack first definitely die. Is this bigger? No, they're about the same size. Okay, well, we'll see how this goes. This was the very strong dwarf board we saw earlier. Yeah, and that's still pretty strong. Looks like they have a lot of stuff at 4 health, which is really tough for our board. Yeah, we're just gonna get smacked here, unfortunately. Take a lot of damage. Okay, here's a Robin Wood. Robin Wood's a pretty good card. We can cast a buff on it. Oh, that doesn't really get it. We don't really have a particular build. This obviously goes really nicely with a Robin Wood. And we could buff it. But then we have to move aggressively into trees. No, I don't think that's what we're supposed to be. I think we're supposed to sell some stuff. Cast some spells. This buys us a 5-drop. Okay, this means that if we find a 6-drop we like, we can accelerate into it really nicely. Oh, no, we can keep looking. I thought we were done. Now we could get this, so this would upgrade immediately. And then we might be able to just buff it into a new 5-drop. Doesn't seem super worth it. Maybe that might be a mistake though. I'm definitely open to that idea. I think it's worth selling a frog to just buy a buff here. I don't love any of our board. We could look for like a Storm King. We do have a bunch of mages, like a Storm King and an Aeon could get going. I'd say we're not doing super well. We're actually the lowest health in the game right now. It's pretty weird. 3 people are out, but we're the lowest health. At 18, usually, people would stop being lower. Okay, so we just need to find a strong 6. Here is a 6, and we have a bunch of monsters. Yeah, I can see that being good. There's a good boy, although getting good boy here would have been a little... Okay, so we could grab this monster somehow, right? Maybe not. So next turn we'll get a Sporko. Means this turn I think we just buy something to save. And is this one? This one's stronger than that. And we can put the range thing first, I think. Oh, this gets a buff when it attacks. Tough to say. So yeah, we'll grab the Sporker for a 4-drop treasure. We also don't want to have too many non-monsters on the board, and we might just be looking to try to go towards maybe just like a pumpkin, and maybe that's just we don't have a super late game build, so we're sort of aiming for a, you know, like a mid-late game build. I mean, everyone's caught up to 6, right? Well, this person hasn't converted, right? So they are still not at 6. Okay, so this immediately triggers and takes out one of their characters. Okay, so we're gonna take 8 damage down to 10. That means we could die in the next fight. It's not certain, but it's not improbable. I'm gonna buy the double spell because we know we're fighting a dwarf. Or we're pretty sure. And if we put a mummy first, it will immediately take out 2 things. That seems pretty good. Oh, Grumblegore is a nice ranged character, a nice ranged monster. So I think we sell this and grab this thing and sort of call it a build for now. We could pause here. We could cast a True Love's Kiss on the Nian. It makes it into an upgraded 6. Upgraded 6 is usually pretty good. The one downside is this is already a monster, and we want monsters. So I think we maybe put this one here. So the hope is that we immediately kill 2 things with the poison apple, and that that's enough to keep us alive at least against the dwarfs. But obviously it could go either way. Apple. They appled us. Okay. And we get the first attack. So we immediately kill 3 things. Okay, pretty nice. Looks like we win this fight then, right? Yeah, we crushed this fight. So yeah, the apple buy was really helpful. Oh, did we pause here? I actually don't even remember. Let's try it. Another Oni King. Well, that was very lucky. So this is a monster, and they get plus 40/40 when they attack. So we put it second. It's likely to slay something and have a spot to spawn in. Yeah, that seems reasonable. We can sell this, and oh, we already cast a spell, so we do not need to do that. I think we're supposed to grab another Siren next turn. And let's have a monster attack earlier in the rotation because it gets plus 40/40. Yeah, do we want the Siren? Yeah, I don't know what better monsters we're looking for. Siren seems pretty good here. And then we're just trying to triple our Sirens and our mummies. We don't have great treasures yet. Ooh. That got taken out, but... Okay, well this will take out the range, so they actually do trade here. Okay, well they took out our character, so they don't die there. Buy one of these. Ooh, triple the mummy. Perfect. So I of course messed up. I should have shrunk spelled it in order to just get a spellcast, and I think I actually would save some gold. I don't think we can reasonably get Mimic. It doesn't actually do anything with our board. So I think we're stuck on Helm. Just putting this here, and then we'll roll. None of these are that impressive. The goal is, what is going to get the buff? It's going to be the Grumble. That's actually not a bad buff, right? Gets 15-15. So attack with the mummy, do some damage to everything. I think they were princes. It's possible they're going to have princes that are too big for us right now. We'd really like to find something else that's nice to put up front so we can move our second Oni King to the back. Because everything getting +40/+40 when they attack is really nice. I wonder if it's just better to have a +40/+40 Siren. But the problem is you actually don't want it to survive because then it won't have a slot if it's the first attacker. Okay, so yeah, this is about what we expected. The damage doesn't do a ton here. But now, yeah, now we do get a summon, which is nice. Oh, it does look like we're dead here, though, right? Yeah. Oh, no, 9, exactly! Wow, we survived at 1 health. Oh, that was super clutch. Yeah, that was just really lucky. Okay, here's our doubled Siren. It supports affecting the entire front row. Is nice. Gives everything a lot more attack. We don't want supports in the long term, though. I guess this is better. It gives so much attack. I don't think the Forking Rod's doing enough. Although the Forking Rod is really good when we have... Well, it's nice when we find these things. It's really nice when we get... Even like Toilet and Trouble, it's pretty good with. It's really good... Do we just want one of these things? Medusa, if you know you're always attacking. Yeah, we won't go for it. What was I trying to say? Pokemon really nice if we find apples. That's what I was going for. Because it basically means we can just double kill 2 things with this mummy attack. Which is very valuable. Okay, well they have nothing on board. So we win that fight, which is nice, because we didn't really know. Wow, so they beat them. Okay, so is Pumpkin good here? Is a question. And I think the answer is yes. I think Pumpkin is really nice because we have all these support buffs. I don't remember what they were playing to see if Lightning Bolt is good here. There's only so many spells that are actually better than Lightning Bolt. And Kidnap is not one of them. We're going to sell and grab a Fog. Hopefully that works. So, the nice thing is that the Pumpkin... You know, these are all pretty high-cost evil characters. The Pumpkin should have at least 2 spawns, because we always get the first attack. And any monsters it spawns, as long as one of these Oni Kings is alive, will get plus 20/20 when they attack. You know, it will spawn a 4 and a 4 and a 5. I think that's how it works. And there's, you know, obviously 5-drop monsters. There's Medusa could spawn. There's Apple Tree. There's Book, which is also a monster. There's Siren, which is also a monster. So we have some options. And I think it's best to have it 3rd. So it gets the 40/40. The 40/40 buff is huge. So I think having it 3rd is better than having it last. I don't think the Oni King attack. The Oni King can survive if it attacks. I don't know. That's all tough to tell. I don't remember what they had, so we could just be barking up the wrong tree here. Okay, well this didn't die, and we didn't get a monster, so sort of a weird set of circumstances. If this dies, though, it does take out one of their characters, which is nice. Are we gonna win this by... Oh, because we reduced their range. The fog! The fog comes up huge! Oh my god, the fog did it for us. Well, that was lucky. Do we cast fog again? No, because they are princes. We do not want the fog. We will take an apple, because that means the mummy explosion will kill something. I don't even know what else we're looking for. I guess we would, take another Grumble Gold Pumpkin. We've already gone too low on gold for that. We'll pause here. We can grab that next turn. If we survive, it gives us a free buff, and it's gold neutral. And yeah, I mean, they grow every turn, so obviously they're stronger and stronger. It's not even clear if we shouldn't have the Oni King back, but the Sporko's giving so much attack. It's giving plus 10 attack to everything. I feel like having it up front is good. It is difficult to trade with all of their things. We don't have great treasures still, which is unfortunate, but okay, they have a good boy, which is going to make it tough, especially with this whatever character that is. Taking out 2 of their good characters before the trigger is really nice. And we get 2 upgraded characters. Okay, I mean, it looks like we're winning this fight. The question is, can we keep enough upgraded stuff alive to beat them? It looks like we do. Yeah, wow, that actually went really well. The Siren getting the 200 meant that that was a nice, easy takedown for us. So, we made that transition to monsters because we saw the Oni King and took the upgraded version because we had the Hand of Midas. And then, of course, we lucked into the second Oni King off of a True Love's Kiss on the Nian. So, I mean, that was lucky, obviously. But you have to get lucky. We also survived at 1 health in that first fight with Grandmother, and then were able to take her down later on, for the punish. So that was really nice. But yeah, we got those 2 mummies, with the idea being that, we hit 6 early, so we'll try to do the AoE damage to crush the low level boards, and then we just transitioned into the monsters because we saw the Oni Kings. We upgraded the Sporko. I mean, I think we made good calls here. We didn't really have great treasures because both these Oni Kings, one was an upgraded 5-drop and one was just a Hand of Midas. So we ended up with, we have 2 5-drop treasures, but, obviously that's not as impressive given, you can see that we have 2 upgraded 6s. But overall, great game. Merlin's very strong, and we had an amazing early game with the sure shot into Frog Prince, who just really helped carry the early game. I think I made a couple of mistakes early on that might have cost us a few health, so, that's something to look into, because, we survived at 1 health, so you really need to think about spewing health and what that could do. We could have been out in 3rd or 4th place if we had 1 fewer health, so, always be, making sure, health is a resource, is something you'll hear, especially from people who play a lot of, other card games like Magic or Hearthstone, but that means the more of it you have, the more of it you have to spend later on. So if you lose it early, kind of foolishly, you have less of it to spend on aggressive, leveling like we were doing with the, the Adventurer, or just buying XP, or trying to get certain scaling in. We didn't have any permanent scaling in this game other than our spell buffs. But if you're trying to, say scale up a Lancelot or something, and you just don't have enough time, you can't use that health as a resource later on. So when people say health as a resource, they don't mean throw it away, because it has no value. They mean it's something that you can use as something of value. So that's a little bit tangent, because I don't know if it's actually super applicable to this particular game, but it's something to think about. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was fun to watch. A lot of very close fights, and some really meaningful. The way the fights played out was very meaningful, because if even 1 more thing survived throughout the course of the whole game, we would have come in 3rd or 4th. So very cool. Thanks for watching.